we will have Atomy Vision lecture.
강의를 해주실
We
애터미의
will
선장,
invite
애터미의
our
브랜드,
captain, our
GPTW
brand,
한국에서 가장
the
존경받는
4-year,
CEO, 4년
the
연속
most
선정된 박한길
respected
회장님을 무대 위로
CEO by
모시겠습니다.
GPTW. Let's invite Chairman Park Han-gil with a big hand.
예. 보니까 도경이 부회장 나올 때 박수가 더
I think
컸던 것 같아요.
it was a bigger hand for her than me.
제가 가진 거 다 이렇게
Actually, I've been giving everything to my compassion children,
집사람한테 좀
and
기대가지고 살려고 그랬더니
I try to
우리 집사람이 또 다 내놓으니까
lean on my wife, but my wife is also giving out everything. So I am thinking, like, whom should I lean on? I think the God. I can lean on the God. So we are having this 2-day Success Academy. Because of COVID-19, we were having 1-day seminar, and we are recovering from COVID-19, and we are coming back to the normal. We have our products, cosmetics. So Executive Director Han Sang-gin introduced our history for the cosmetics, right? You can get a lot of trust, right? The product worth a lot of money, and I know it deserves a lot of high price, but because we are pursuing absolute price, absolute quality, we have lowered the price. Actually, at first, when we try to set the price with Koma, it is not a very smooth discussion. They didn't accept the price right away. But for about more than 1 decade, I worked for the vehicle parts manufacturing in the vehicle industry. It has a very tight standard for part cost. It has about 20,000 or 40,000 parts in one car. And when the cost goes up just a little bit, the entire price for the car can go up. So we try to lower the price very tightly. For example, when we manufacture a part, and we have to negotiate the price with the OEM company. Of course, we get some materials, like they get the materials. Okay, this is the price that you want, and they come to our factory. And for example, they weigh all the materials, and they also take a look at the costs per gram, like that for import, and for the personnel cost, personnel expenses. They also get the second and hours for the working hours, and they are that tight to manage the cost. So I am very used to this tight management for cost. And in the cosmetic industry, things are very different. And I could feel that it is very generous. The industry is very generous, and I want to go tight. When we first met each other, I told them
화장품이 주수보다 비쌀 이유를 한번 대봐라.
Tell me why
식물로
the
만들었단 말이지.
cosmetics should be more
그러면
expensive
주수도
than
100% 식물이고
fruit juice, and it is
화장품도
from
100%
plants,
식물이면
and because
주수
fruit
가격에
juice is
주면
also from
되겠네? 뭐
fruits,
이렇게.
and I believe they are
근데
same.
이거는 막
They have the
무슨
same
뭐
origins,
요세미티 무슨 뭐 어디
and
나무에서 뭐 추출하고
they
뭐 하고 막
say
했다 이거예요.
the ingredients are
그러면
from
아니 그런
something
나무 좀 많이
Yosemite
심으면
trees.
되겠네.
And I
나무
told them,
널널하니까
then we can plant a
걔한테
lot
왜
of trees
시켜?
because we have a
그래가지고
lot of land.
하여간 뭐 그렇게 이제 어떻게 보면 좀 그쪽에서 봤을 때는
And
무식하다시피.
actually,
제가 화장품에
for
대해서
them,
무식했던 건 아니에요.
I was
왜냐하면은 제가
too
월급쟁이
much,
17년 하는
too
가운데
tight.
제가 화장품
And I don't really understand. They might
임시로
thought that
좀
I
계획을 한
didn't
적이
really
있어요.
understand cosmetics,
왜냐하면
but
제가
I
이제
actually didn't.
화장품 그 판매
I
부서에
once worked
부서장을 하고
for
있는데
a cosmetic factory,
그 제가 확 팔아 제끼니까
and I
공장에서
increased the
물건을 못
sales,
대는 거예요.
and
그래서 이제
the factory
부천에 있는
couldn't
공장을 뛰어내려 갔죠.
speed up
봤더니 이제
the
거기
speed,
저보다는 대학 한 4년
cannot follow the
선배이시는
speed.
선배님이 화공과 나온 선배님이 앉아 계시는데
And I visited another
생산
factory,
관리 개념이 없는 거예요.
and I could
연구소
see
소장을 하기에 딱 맞는 분이에요.
that
그래서 제가 아이 선배님
one of my
연구소
friends
가겠어요.
was
내가
there,
지금부터
and
공장을
he
총괄
is
지휘를
actually
합니다.
a researcher,
이래가지고
and he
그래서 이제
don't know about how to manage the
공장의
factory.
공정
So
분석을 전부
I
한
took
거예요.
the position
그러니까
and I analyzed the
매과장을
factory,
불렀어요.
and I
뭐 때문에 공장이 안 돌아가는가
told
했더니
the
화장품
sales
그
manager,
용기에 뚜껑 하나 없어서 다
and
세워놓고 있는 거예요.
I found that
그래서
the
제가 이제
cap,
구매과장 불러가지고 이
it was
뚜껑
out of
어디까지
caps.
들어
The factory was out of caps.
한 내일 모레쯤이나
That was why the production was
어떻게
not
했을까요?
being done. And he
그때는
said
바로
2
조인트가
days
안
later.
들어갔어요.
And
진짜
I was
때리질
like
않고.
this. Of course, I didn't beat him. I was trying to beat him. I tried to beat him.
앞으로 내가 몇 초 단위로 내가 몇 분 단위로 보고하라고는 안 하겠지만은
I
몇 시간
told him,
단위로 보고를 해. 알았어?
report
그리고
everything to me
지금
for
이
every
부품이 떨어져
hour.
있는데 네가 왜 여기 있어?
The
그
part
공장에 가
is,
있어.
you
지금부터
are
너는
out
그
of this
공장으로
part,
출근을 해서
but
그
now you are
부품을
still here.
싣고
That's
이
the
회사를
right
가라.
thing. You
우리
should go
성까지는 오지 마.
to the cap
이렇게
manufacturing
해가지고
factory.
그리고 간 즉시 전체
And
공장을 장악을 해가지고 모든
you
공장 관리를
should
지금부터 그 공장에 가서 네가 공장장을 해. 알았어?
be the owner of that cap
왜냐하면
manufacturing
저는 자동차
factory.
회사에서
Because
모 기업에서
when I
딱
worked
부품회사
for
다 있잖아요.
the
뭐 부장급이든 이사급이든
car
과장급이든
manufacturing,
그
part
사람이
manufacturing
임시 공장장이 되는
factory,
거예요. 그래서
I believe
출퇴근 관리부터 시작해서 모든 관리를
every
다 분석을 해가지고
client
설비에 문제점이 있으면
should be the owner of the
개선시키거나 아예
factory of the
대체시켜버리거나 하는
partnering
이런 것까지.
company.
그다음에 회사의
So
사업
you should
운영
understand
가지고도 순식간에
everything,
장악을 해가지고 그냥
and
일을
you should
해내는 그런
understand
모습들을
like financial status
거기에
of
이제
your partner
그런
company.
수준에 맞춰줘야 되기 때문에
So you should
10여 년간
understand
자동차
everything.
회사하고 일을 하면서 저는
That
뭐
is what I
원가락이라든가
learned
이런 부분에
for
대해서
the 15 years
명확하게 이렇게 보이는 거지.
in my career.
그리고
So I
또
could see
제가
all the process for the cost
주로
management.
영업 쪽에 일을 했는데
And I
화장대는
mainly
또
worked on
QC
sales,
과장을
but I
QA까지
also did a
그런 겸손을
QA
또 했어요. 그래서
QA work as well.
ISO 9001이라고 처음
ISO
들어올 때
9001. When was it was introduced? I worked on it. It is not tighter, like as tighter as it used to be. That's because our technology has advanced, but actually it has changed. And I worked on those introduction, the standard introduction. So I worked on sales quality control, and I also worked on the manufacturing technology. It is about design, it is about the machine installation. For example,
독일에 갔는데
in Germany, there is a group. It's an elevator company.
2차 세계대전 때 레오파드
During the
탱크로
Second War,
만들고 하던 그러니까
the
이제
company
대형 선박,
manufactured
있고
a
대형
big tank
선박용 엔진 그다음에 기관차용 엔진
engines
이런 거 만드는
for
회사인데 그 계열사로 카우텍스라는
for
회사가 있었습니다.
trains and
그러면은
ships.
그런데 거기에 딱 갔는데
And the
중국
company
팀들도 거기
is
와
also part
있었어요.
of the big
그리고
company,
저
and
이제
they had a
한국에
Chinese team, and I was from
그
Korea there,
담당자가 예우가 다르더라고.
and
중국 팀에 대해서.
I saw
그래서
they have
나보다
different
나를 담당하는 사람보다도 한 직급 높은 친구가
attitude
붙어 있어요.
to
그래서
the Chinese
야,
team.
중국에는 니네
They
보스가 붙어 있고 너는 왜
have
나한테 붙어 있어? 막 이렇게 내가 좀
the higher
심해졌어요.
position
물어봤더니
personnel for
그
the
친구가
Chinese
하는
team
얘기가
than me.
네가 내는
And
돈보다 같은 기계인데
they told me
3배를 내고 가져간대요 돈을.
because
그
Chinese
52억에
team
가져간대. 나는
are
17억에 가져오는데.
paying
근데 어떻게
3
그렇게 차이가 나냐
times more
그랬더니
for the same
나는
machine.
이제
So I asked why.
이런 기계 막 사다리 타고 올라가는 거예요? 그럼 그
I
사다리를
would
독일제로 사와야 될까요? 한국에서
come on
만들면 될까요?
the
만들면 되죠. 그렇죠?
I
이게
should
밑에
come
까는 이런 철판 이런
I should
것들이
climb
있어요.
the machine, and you
밸런스
need
잡아주는 그런 스테빌라이저들이
the
있어요.
ladder,
그러면 그런
right?
것은 한국에서 만들면 될까요?
And
독일에서 사와야 될까요?
we can
독일에서 사오면
actually
되는 거예요. 그런데
manufacture
중국
the
사람들은
ladder
와가지고 자기 돈이 아니래요, 그 사람들은.
in Korea. So I try to reduce all the costs.
그런 거
But
철판뜨기 하나까지
the
다
Chinese
사간다는
team
거예요.
was different.
그런데
They would buy everything
얘네 한국은 그럴 필요가 없다.
like
그래서
ladders.
일부 이제 이런
So
것은 꼭 사가라. 그리고 이런 것은 내가 만들어라.
Korea would
그랬는데
buy some essential
그러다 보니까
things,
처음에는 한
only buy
23억
essential
정도 우리가
things.
견적이 나왔어요. 그런데 제가
The
이것도
cost used to
빼자,
be
저것도 빼자
about
해가지고
2.3
이제 그런 것들을
billion
야,
Korean
그건
won.
안 돼. 그건 니네
Then
한국에서
I
못
said
만들어.
we
막 이러는
cannot
거예요.
buy this one.
아니야, 만들 수
We
있어.
can
예를 들면 이런 거예요.
skip
엔지니어링
this.
플라스틱
We can
같은
skip
경우는
this.
이제 그게 플라스틱인데도 습기를 먹어요.
Like
그러면은
plastic for
이게
engineering, the plastic can observe
스크류 안에 들어가서 이 바렐 안에서
the
고열이
moisture,
되면은
and when
어떤
it
현상이
gets
일어나냐?
high
한
temperature,
230도, 270도까지
when it is
올라가면은
like 230
녹는데
degrees
그 안에
Celsius,
들어있던
then
습기가
the
베이퍼,
moisture
그러니까
inside
수증기가 돼가지고
it
이게 막
would
기포가
become
되는
a
거예요.
vapor
그러니까 불량원이 되는 거예요. 그럼
and
원료가
becomes a
들어가기
bubble
전에
that can
이거를
create some problems.
열풍기로 말려가지고
So you
이렇게
need
기계 안에 들어가는 그런 건조기라는
some
것이 있어요. 드라이 에어리어가 있는데
dryer,
그런 드라이 에어리어를
dry area
전체를
heater.
내가 만들겠다.
And I said
이게
that
요 기계하고
part
이렇게
can
맞춰놨기
be
때문에 네가 못
manufactured in
만든다는
Korea.
거야.
And they
아니야, 난
say
만들 수
you
있어.
can't.
근데
And I
그렇게
said I
어떻게
can.
했냐? 제가 독일에
How did I
갔을 때
created it? When I
저보다
visited
먼저
Germany,
왔던 사람들이 있대요.
there were some
일본 사람들.
people who came to
공장에
Germany
들어갈 때,
before me. They are from Japan.
뭐 카메라 들고 가도 되냐고 그러니까 뭐 카메라로
And
찍어가지고
I
지네가 못
said,
하겠어 그러고 들여 보내줬대요.
they asked them
카메라로
to
찍고
bring a
가가지고
camera,
일본에다가
and they
그렇게 다
recorded
만들어놨더래.
everything to copy
그래서 이제
those
한국 사람들이
machines.
갈 때는 어떻게 하느냐?
So
공장
for
문 입구마다
Koreans,
카메라를 그려놓고 X뼈를 다 쳐놨어.
and
사진
they
찍지 말아라.
put the post,
그러니까 이제
you
카메라를
should
못 들고 가.
not, you're not allowed to take
그런데 저는
pictures.
눈으로 찍었어요.
But
눈으로.
I took the
그래가지고
pictures
예를
with my
들면 그
eyes,
모터가
like the motors.
몇만 핵짜리지 뭐 이런 거.
I
이거를 옆에서 대놓고
try to
적을 수가
remember
없잖아요.
all the
그러니까 맨날
motors.
화장실을 들락날락 하는
So,
거예요.
but I
이렇게
could not
보고 이제,
take a memo in
이제
front of them.
뭐
So I
코스
visited
사이즈는
the
얼마고,
toilet very
뭐
frequently.
몇만 핵이고 막 이런 거를
All the
다
specs,
외워가지고,
specifications. I try to
그래가지고 또
remember
화장실을
them,
가가지고
and then
메모를 해가지고
took the
그렇게.
memos.
그러니까 나중에 이제 그거를 그대로 해가지고 한국에서 이제 기계 본체가 오기
And
전에
before
이제 그런
getting the
드라이 에어리어
machine
시스템을
body,
다 만들어놨어.
I created the
그랬더니
dryer system.
너 어떻게 했냐 이거?
And they asked, how did you do that?
너 어떻게 했느냐?
How?
그래서 이제 그 친구는 말이 안 된다고 생각을 했는데
And
그걸 다 해낸 거예요.
he
그러니까
said, you cannot do that, but I did. So the cost used to be about 2.2 billion Korean won, but I lowered the cost to 1.8 billion Korean won, and we had to buy 2 more machines.
그래서 이제
So
그 가격을 좀 깎아달라고 그랬더니
we are trying to
이 친구가 안
get some
깎아주네.
discounts, and the person
그래서
was not giving
이제
the
제가
discount to
그때
us.
옆에 오스트리아에
And
또 기계 회사가 하나 있었어요.
there was
그런데
a company
그
in
기계는
Australia,
문제가
another
좀 있어
company.
내가
Actually,
봤을
that
때.
machine, I
그러니까
believe,
그
had
기계를 안
some
샀어.
problems, so I
근데
didn't buy that
가격은 싸.
machine, but that machine is
그래서
cheaper.
독일 기계를 두 대를 사와 가지고
So I bought two
이제
German
우리가 또
machines,
두 대 더 사니까 가격을
and
좀 더 깎아줘.
I
그랬더니
was telling
이
them,
친구가 안 깎아줘.
we are buying two
지금도 내가
more, so give
이름을
give
기억하고 있어요.
me
폰
the
킬슈테인이라고.
discounts.
이
And I
친구가
still
막
remember the
도무지
manager,
안 깎아줘.
Poon Christian, that was his
그때 뭐
name,
마르크 쓰던
and he didn't
시절인데
give us
하여간 요
the
몇
discounts.
세 개라도 내가 이거
And
재료로 좀 만들자. 그게 우리로 치면 한 571마르크인가 그랬어.
I try
근데 이
to
친구가 내
reduce the
지금도
cost.
기회생생해. 요거를 제로로 571마르크 깎아달라고 그랬는데 요 맨 밑에
I try to get only a small discount, but he gave us a very, very small discount.
홍질이 나가지고.
I was upset.
그래가지고 이게 이 정도 기계면 얼마 정도 남겠다는 것은 저도 이제 대충
Because I know how much profit they would get, and I knew that they can give us at least 20% of discount, but the German machine is very good, and the Australia one is about 30% cheaper, but still have some problems.
독일 기계가 도착한 다음에
When after getting the machine from Germany,
설계실을 시켜가지고 다 도면으로 만들었어.
we created
그리고 들고 어디를 갔느냐?
the
오스트리아를 갔어.
floor plan from the machine, and we visited the Austria,
있는 거 알고 있지. 내가 전에
and
지적을
we
했지.
told them, you have some problems,
내가
your
고쳐줄게.
machine has some problems, these
기계
problems.
설계 도면을 새로 가져왔어.
This is the floor plan for your machine. You
그랬더니
can fix your machines based on this floor plan.
어떡해?
And they were so surprised
도면을
to see the floor
그릴 수가
plan.
있다고.
They asked me, how did you
어떻든
get this?
그렇게 해가지고 이제 그 오스트리아 기계를 독일 기계 수준으로 싹 개조를
So,
해가지고
we got to upgrade the
가격을
Austria
내고를 했죠.
machine.
18억짜리 기계를 11억까지 내고를 한 거예요.
We got the price of
그
1.1 billion Korean won.
소문이 이제 폰 키르슈텐한테 들어간 거야.
And Poon Kirsten got the news, and his boss, named Moss, the director, flew to Korea at night. And they came to me,
이름이 한스박이었어요.
and I was
한스박.
Hans Bach back then. To me, they said, you know that the vacuum machine, the Australian machine, got a lot of problems. How come you could use that one? And they said, you knew that. So I said, yes, I knew. But I said, I don't need to use your machine. So at the end, they said, only one machine, not two machines, only one. If you want to make a mistake, please make this one. So I said, no need. I made an order already, and I will be using that. So I just said that it's okay, don't worry, and I sent them back. Anyways, since then I converted the new machine, and their new machine worked really well. And also that the new machine got its own patents. So I negotiated that machine with 1.1 billion Korean won, and I said it is 1.8 billion. And how much discount could you provide? I like your product. I like your product. And the problem is the cost and how much discount. And they said, okay, it is 1.3 billion. See, their margin is over 500 million Korean won, but they didn't make a discount at least 571 mark. So I said that, okay, next time I will buy your product, but next time it will be 1.3 billion Korean won, okay? Like this.
13억에 사는 거하고 뭐 괜찮아요. 조금 장점이 또 있어요.
because Australian machine and German machine have their own strength.
기술부장을 하면서
So as a manager of the manufacturing, I designed the manufacturing line, and I also done on the automation. I'm now working on the cosmetic industry, but why I am talking about it? Let me tell you. I made this kind of car component, and I also did some quality control. And with all of the know-how, I visited the cosmetic factories, and I found a lot. I found a lot of loopholes.
저는 이제 공장에 딱 가서
When I came to the factory at first,
이렇게 공장의 정리정돈 상태, 삼정
I could see how organized it was and how.
했지만 우리 때는 3정 OS 뭐 해가지고 그래가지고 이제 쫙 정리 상태라든가 이런 것을
So I checked a lot of things from the arrangement and the cleans and the safety, and I could also guess its error rates. If I see the design of the manufacturing line, and if I see how organized it is, and if I see the containers and the safety and so on, I could calculate the rate of their quality control. When I visited the cosmetic factory at first, I could see a lot of things and I could check it. And I used to be a owner of the cosmetic factory. Back then, I worked with Kim Chi-bong, CEO, and I asked when I want to use a foam cleanser, if I use this vacuum machine, how much hours do we need to use it to make a foam? So for a better understanding, let me say, we need to put all of the ingredients into this chamber, and then we need to mix it with the acetator with the proper temperature. And then at the bottom there is an impeller, and there's a high pressure spraying system. And then the ingredients are being mixed in that container. There are mixing blades and a lot of components, and all of these components are in my mind. But when normal people visit that factory, the only thing they saw is the outer package and outer container. But I knew the interior and the inner components of that machine because I ran a company before. I ran a factory before. So we need to put the ingredient first, and we need to mix them. And then since it's a foam cleanser, there might be a lot of foam in the container. Most of the low quality companies put that into the tube with the foam on it, and then they put it into the basket and at a low price, and they sell the product at a low price in the online shopping mall. In that tube, the ingredients are filled well, but when you squeeze it, the foams are all filled. The foams are filling the container. So when you squeeze a small amount like this toothpaste amount, if you push it, the foam will be generated, and then nothing will left on your hand. So what should we do? If there is a foam in the container, we need to put the vacuum, and we need to remove the foam from the container, and it takes about 48 hours. So I asked it to Kim Chi-bong, the CEO of that factory, and he was shocked. You are a CEO of a distribution company, but how come do you know that? How come do you know that the vacuums and the foams and this kind of process? How come do you know that kind of process? So I said, please explain me that why it should be expensive than the juice. At first, Hemohim cost 770,000 Korean won. So I said, all of these ingredients are the roots, and these are the extract of the roots, and how come it could be so much expensive? Let's sell it at 1/10 of the price. They said it has a lot of herbal ingredients, and it had a lot of traditional medicine ingredients. But I replied, let's say that if we need to raise angelica leaves and the lettuce. Which one is difficult? Actually, the process itself are the same. So, because if you want to grow angelica leaf, just put the root in it and grow it for 2 years or 3 years. So it is really simple. Of course, it is really easy. It doesn't need any herbicide because it stinks. So a lot of pests don't like it. I mean, it is really easy to grow the angelica, that herbal ingredient. So why come? How come? It could be so much expensive. Making like growing this herbal plants is really easy. So let me say that which one is difficult, to grow an angelica leaf and to grow a lettuce. And they said actually angelica leaf is better. So I said then the price need to be down. It is only about making the extract of the roots and mixing the ingredients together.
무식해갖고 이렇게 얘기하면 안 돼. 그런데 예를 들면
If you
그 해모힘을 추출하는
If I was ignorant, I could not say like that, but I wasn't. So I talk about the principles, so we could start from the bottom. Atomy also always cherishes the absolute quality and absolute price. This didn't come from the bottom. The director Han Sang-gun was here and he talked about the Rygans. And if you are obsessed by this kind of difficult terms, you cannot negotiate the term. Of course, you can use the product. You might understand the quality and the function. You could see that the radiation technology, RT, nanotechnologies are being used in this product, and a lot of nanotechnologies and targeting, blah, 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 patent technologies are used. You could understand that, but at the end, you could decide whether to use it or not. But if you want to negotiate the price, you don't need to know that. Because I can say that you don't need to do that by yourself. What you need is some machines. In order to run the machine, what we need is a motor and the electricity. This is how we could set the price. This is my approach. Since we are the global consumers, we need to make this kind of approach. Globally, we have 15 million members, and with this 15 million members, I am leading all of these members, and as a representative, I need to negotiate the price. If you visit the factory and if you want to negotiate the price, you cannot, because if someone try to explain something to me with the materials, I just reply, okay, it's good. It might take a lot of money, but after that, I try to see the basic costs and the basic principles. And like this, I could cherish the absolute quality and absolute price product. There is a basic principle of Atomy's success. We normally use the term principle. Then what is principle? What's the principle of Atomy business? If you want to see whether it has a principle or not, you need to find it hard, and then you might get the confidence. And you might understand that this business has to be done well. If you don't have this confidence, you might get lost. In order to be successful in distribution, we need to follow this principle. First, it needs to be the daily necessity, and it should has good quality at a low cost. And this product have no choice but to sold well, to be sold well. Let's say that cosmetic is one of the daily necessities, and man might answer, I can live without it, but for women, it's a daily necessity. When they go out, when they need to choose makeup and food, they might choose on makeup. For them, sometimes makeup is better than the food. That's why we call it daily necessity. This daily necessity
그러면 전에도 썼을까요? 안 썼을까요? 에테미
has
바닥에
been used for the long period of time from the past.
클레오파트라도 썼대요.
Cleopatra also used it 1,000 years ago.
이제 이 생필품인데
So this is a daily necessity,
한상은 전무님
and it has great quality. And Director Han Sang-gun also explained about it.
얼마 정도 해야 된다고 그래요?
One bottle supposed to be cost
900만 원. 한 병에.
million
그런데
won.
우리는 세트에
But now we sell it. We sell the 6 sets at 88,000 Korean won.
절대 품질인데
Actually, I must say this is nonsense. The quality is absolute, but the price is also absolute. No one else could make the product at this price.
같은 경우요.
Let's take an example of Hemohim.
목표가 뭐였냐면은
My goal
나와도 우리보다 싸게 못 만든다.
was to
그게 목표였어.
sell the product at a cheaper price of the fake product.
뭐 이게 나왔어.
The name was Hemo Mine or something.
네, 근데 저는 해모임 그 눈에 팍 보일까 안 보일까? 거기 천공 당규 백작약 들어갔대. 근데 문제는 뭐냐?
I recognize that that was the counterfeit of our product, but the product was 3 times expensive, more expensive than Hemohim. It was the counterfeit, but it was more expensive than that Hemohim.
그러다 보니까 한 몇 달 팔리더니 그 없어져 버렸어.
So that counterfeit product disappeared after a month. So I asked, oh, I cannot see Hemo Mine anymore. And the owner said, yes, at first it was sold well, but it isn't anymore. The reason is that although it was a counterfeit, it was more expensive than Hemohim. So my goal is that I would like to sell Hemohim at a cheaper price than the counterfeit.
건강식품 뭐 봄가을로 한 번씩 먹는다고 그러는데 뭐 운지버섯, 상황버섯.
There are a lot of good mushrooms and a lot of good herbal medicines, and you could get this kind of product at a discount store, and you could give this product to your parents because it seems fancy. But these products cost about 150,000 Korean won. So on average, this kind of health functional food cost about 150,000 Korean won per month. But now,
엄청 진하게 만들어놨어.
we have the extract.
찰랑찰랑할 만큼 물을 많이 타놨어. 그러면은 박스 큰
So it is really concentrated extract, but the other product contain a lot of water. You know, in our house, we have enough water. We don't need to put water into that product. But now, we don't put any water into the product, and we have the concentrated extract, and the price is only 88,000 Korean won. And also, it has great quality with CIS articles about it. There are like tens of articles in it. If it has only 2 articles, it is really great, but we have tens of articles in it. It also proven for its efficacy and for the fatigueness.
그래서 앞으로 모임 이렇게 짜 먹는데
We use the sachet type
예를 들면은
of Hemohim.
바카스나 구론산처럼 맛있어서 먹는 그런 해모임도 한번 만들어 보세요.
And one of my goals is to develop a Hemohim with some flavor, as yummy as bacchus or other energy drinks. So for me, I think that if that product is fully developed, I might drink tens of bottles every day. Sometimes we drink bacchus, the energy drink, frequently because it tastes good. So that we are in the development process to develop that flavory Hemohim product.
어떤 식으로 받았냐면요. 지금은 이제 동물 실험 거의 안 하는데 우리 벌써 거의 20년 전이에요.
20 years ago, when we first started developing a Hemohim product,
77만 원에 팔았어. 근데 뭐 한 달에 500박스밖에 못 팔았죠.
at the very early stage, they could only sell 500 boxes a month because they have another distribution channel. So back then, we did some animal testing.
생쥐한테 해모임을 많이 먹여.
So to one mouth, we gave a lot of hemohim, and to the other mouth, we only feed water and other
수직으로 딱 되어
beverage.
있는
And in a cylinder, we put them in a cylinder with the water.
쥐는 헤엄을 안 치면 물에 빠져 죽을까요? 헤엄 안 쳐도 그냥 살 수 있을까요?
And
헤엄 안 치면 쥐는 물에 빠져 죽어요.
mouses will be drowned if they don't swim. So they swim like that in the cylinder, and they become really fatigued. After an hour and 2 hours,
아, 죽겠다.
they might be drowned.
그러다가 이 해모임을 안 먹은
So the mouse
다 죽어버렸어.
that
근데 해모임을
didn't
먹은 팀들은
have hemohim died, but the mouse that had hemohim survived,
그러니까 무슨 얘기냐? 근육
which means that their muscle
필요도가 낮은 거예요. 물론
gets
계속 놨으면
fatigued
죽기는 죽어. 계속
later
놨으면
than
죽는데
the mouse that
먹은 집단보다 엄청
didn't have
헤엄을 치는 거예요.
hemohim.
그러니까 여러분들이
So the mouse that
그러면은
was feeded hemohim survived longer than the mouse that was not feeded hemohim. So if you take 2 sachets of hemohim a day, you might feel the differences.
얼마 전까지만 해도
So let me tell you a truth.
사람들을 왜 이렇게 먹는 거야? 나 잘
Recently, I didn't really understand why many people have hemohim, but now I'm getting aged, and now I could recognize and I could feel why many people want to have hemohim so frequently.
글을 쓰고 있어요.
These days I write
국민일보에 역경의
on
열매라고
Kookmin Daily newspaper,
대한민국 그
and I wrote about the path of agony because a lot of
장로님도 아마 글을
lot of
알고 있는데 하여간 그런 분들이 쓴 대야. 그래가지고
church elders wrote articles on that paper. Before the ex-president Lee Myung-bak also wrote on that paper. Anyways, I wrote this small article, but I need to do it every day.
할 얘기는 이만큼 많은데
I need to say a lot of things, but I got only this small part. So when I write down something long, I need to summarize into small piece. I need to stay up late until like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the night. And
왜냐하면 일간신문이라는
it is a daily news, so I need to meet the ending. So the employee needed to wait for me, and he needs to like correct some, and up until the night 3 a.m. at night I stayed awake. So now I feel dizzy.
해모임을
Whenever I feel like this, I need to take hemohim, and then I get refreshed. At this night I'm gonna have a lecture.
이제
Before I will do that lecture, I will take hemohim. So I think that I will have 4 to 6 sachets of hemohim today.
정량은 2포예요. 여러분들
Normally, you can take 2 every day.
이렇게 먹으라는 얘기가 아니에요.
I'm not saying you have to take 4 or 6, and that's only for me.
왜냐면은 대개는 이제 체중하고 관련이 있어요.
It's
저보다 뭐
you should think about your
안 되시는 분들을 이런 분들이 기준이야 원래는. 왜냐? 이건 뭐 대중 누구나 먹어야 되니까.
weight.
2포 그러면은 제일 몸무게 가볍고
We recommend those light fit people can have 2 sachets,
좀 둥시 있고 저보다 더 큰 사람을 기준으로
and
해보면은
that those bigger
몸무게
people
반밖에 안 되는 분은 2배나 먹는 꼴이
can
돼요.
actually have more.
항상
So
기준은
we
제일 약하고
have the standard
몸무게
for
가벼운 사람을
the
기준으로 이제
lightest
하기 때문에
people.
이제 뭐 저는 조금 더 먹어도
And
기준
I can take more.
네, 문제가 없는 거죠.
It doesn't really
어떻든
matter.
그거는 식약청 방법이 아니고 내 방법이야. 내
That's
방법.
actually my way, not the recommendation by the
그래서 이제 그렇게
Drug
딱
Safety
먹고
Agency.
나면은 이게 먹었을 때하고 안 먹었을 때
After having it, I can feel difference, especially in the morning.
뭐 오늘은 저녁에 제 강의가 메인
Tonight,
강의고
I have the
지금은
lecture,
시간을 조금 줘가지고
and lecture for tonight is the main one, and they say I should wrap up. I am the chairman, but they say they are saying me to wrap up because I was talking a lot, and I cannot really wrap up right now.
빨리 끝내라고. 예,
Okay,
마무리하겠습니다.
I will wrap it up. Okay, thank you.
네, 지금까지 애터미의 창업자
Thank you
박한길
very
회장님의
much.
열정 넘치는 비전
Thank you
강의였습니다.
for your passionate
여러분, 다시 한번
vision
회장님께 큰 박수
lecture.
부탁드리겠습니다.
Please give him another big hand.
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요.